All right, happy to share some feedback here. Um, nice cover. Looks centered. I would just check this out. Make sure this gap here to here, is the same as here to here. Looks a little closer to this side. So if it's going to be centered, really center it. If it's not, offset it to one side. Otherwise, good design, etc. Here, okay. This is a lot of caps. They have the quote in caps and all this in small caps, and this is small caps, and this is small cap. Okay, a lot of caps. You could still do it. It feels very formal, very bank-like, very important. Um, so the one thing I definitely would change is I'd probably make the type for this first paragraph bigger, maybe 5 points bigger. And then after this, these last three paragraphs, split into double columns or maybe triple, kind of like you have here, 3 columns, because these lines are just too long, for that line length error. We're going to get that. Um, okay, those are some thoughts there. Good. I like your color choices and your use of background color. So good job. But I'd like you to consider that occasionally you can move those around and change them just to make different stories stand out in different ways. For example, if we put this all behind white, this would stand out as the main rather than being same, same. Or you could put this behind a lighter green or perhaps a gray. See all the colors you got, like the tan, almost a crimson, and the green. Okay. So I'm going to also say gray is one of your colors because of the photos are gray. So, consider that, and that way you could make a differentiation between this and this. The reason I'd put the color behind this one is so that this became the focal point, and you supply the missing hat. That feels like it should go across because it feels like the subtitle to Campaign 2008, which I might make to 2020, but whatever. Campaign 2008, you supply the missing half. So this could go across, and then maybe give me a drop cap there. Good. And then maybe this one gets a lighter gray or something behind it. So this becomes the focal point because of the big title, and then we go down, down, down. Okay, these will work. You could try differentiating them a little bit more. Again, probably background color or something like that, or title in color. Here, the same kind of thing. I'd probably split these up into 1 or 2 columns, even though they're pretty short. Maybe 2 because you got this photo using half and this using the other half, so it almost introduces 2 columns there. Wouldn't be a bad thing. If you want to differentiate them so people don't get confused, you could again use that trick of having a background color behind these. That way they know when they read this, they'll go right to here and keep going, and they'll know that this one is different than this one. Okay. Yeah, that works. Nice and clean. I'm almost tempted to align the top of this with the top of that. Well, I guess it is. I just wish I could get that to line up with the top of these pictures too. There wouldn't be anything wrong by having this stripe of green and this stripe of green different heights. Okay, as long as you did it in such a way that the bottom was thicker. The bottom normally is thicker, so that would be something I would consider, and you could apply that here as well as here. Yeah. And that by doing that, then we could lower this and make it alignment, which kind of helps relate the two because they're separated by color. That says that this title and these images go along together. Okay. For example, right here, I'm tempted to move this block of tan right to the fold line so that, this text And these pictures all kind of go along together. And the holiday party all has a green background. It's not as important, but it's important enough to be printed. But this stands out more, and then this stands out less. If I did that, I would probably put MI Arts annual party going across. Yeah. Again, a lot of caps. This one in particular, I'd probably move to upper and lowercase. I'd be tempted to move that one to upper and lowercase as well, just because all caps comes across as lines. We don't necessarily read them. We read words by shapes, and we have those shapes when we have the upper and lowercase letters. Okay, you might want to lighten the gray just a touch. I guess it's not too bad. So consider that. I do notice that you're using hyphenation on this, so I'd probably turn hyphenation off on all of those. And let's see if you got hyphenation. Yeah, it's breaking up other things too. So I'd turn hyphenation off would be a recommendation. Again, breaking this one out as green to separate it from the one above and one below. That'd be good. Maybe in this one could be a second color. Maybe, this crimson red, or maybe this orange. I don't know. Idea. This is really nice. Size, the hierarchy, the flow. Excellent job here. Good job. Yeah, that still works great. I really like how these are all at the same level right here. This one doesn't do it. It looks like you could, maybe. So just take a ruler line and put it right there and see if you could work that out. That would look really beautiful. Nice pledge form. I'd probably make a bigger gap between the dots and the white type. Seems a little close. And again, you got these hyphens on, so I turn those off. This is working, and again, it wouldn't bother me at all if this bottom stripe was a little bit thicker. I would probably drop the folio from the last page. And let's see, this almost looks like it's aligned, but not quite. So I'd scoot it over and align it to the left right there. Okay. The picture looks somewhat stretched, so I'd go through and I'd make sure that the pictures were not stretched. Those are my general thoughts for you. I hope you find that helpful feedback. Let's compare the front cover to the back now. Okay, that's going to work great. Good. Yeah, I hope you find that helpful. If you do have other questions, please give me a call. And, with a few of these that are not as important as your main article, like right here, but are somewhat important, like they're not main, but they're probably secondary, I would include a stepping stone, whether the first word in bold or maybe a drop cap. But I certainly wouldn't do a drop cap here and here and here and here. They just all compete. But you could choose to make one of these, like this top one, more important. Make it a little larger, give it a drop cap, and then let these be more secondary. And this one I'd put a drop cap in too. Yeah, and that one, just to give one a little distinction from the rest. All right, I hope you find that feedback helpful. Thank you.